And welcome to the TRL Footy Show, brought to you by the Gail Walker Swim School in Highfields, Criterion Hotel Dalby and Power FM on Power TV Australia. This week we are live from the Gail Walker Swim School. And here's your host from the Obie and Cookie Call on Power FM, Andrew O'Brien, aka Obie.
Well, g'day and welcome to the Gail Walker Swim School. Hasn't she been putting me through the ringers over here as well? And they had to clear the whole pool for me to go in, but no, look, she does a wonderful job out here, and you're going to see a special interview with Gail during the show, and the Walker name synonymous with rugby league. So let's get stuck into the show. Joining me today is none other than part of the Obie and Cookie Call, Nev Cherry. How are you, Neville?
Good, Obie. I'm going brilliant, mate. How are you, Brian?
Yeah, good, thanks, mate.
Mate, just what's some great rugby league we had on the weekend. Just 5 super games, Obie, and I can't wait to head into the Madsen Rasmussen.
That's right. And then joining me, the best backer-upper, because Justin Murphy. He's got a little bit of a cough, the poor bugger, and so me and the boss here, we've got the flu, and we turned up, didn't we, Brian?
We did, and we also found out that you can actually talk underwater.
Leave the jokes up to me, thanks, Brian. And okay, well, right into it now. The Mustangs, we thought they'd have a good crack at Ipswich this weekend, Brian, but they lost 30 points to 12 after beating them in the first round.
Yeah, it was a bit disappointing for the Mustangs. I think they would be pretty confident about that game because they had beaten them earlier in the year. That was at the St George NRL game, and they played pretty well that day. But no, they just couldn't quite get it together on that day. And
they had the weekend off this week's a lot of rep in that divisions there this weekend. But look, my highlight, Nev, of the weekend is the historical win by the Division 1 Toowoomba Phillies, their first ever win in the best rugby league women's competition in Australia.
Mate, it's certainly a momentous occasion for the Toowoomba Rugby League and the Phillies, and especially they tell me down there at Gatton, a huge crowd turned out, and I've been following on Facebook, and it has a massive following, and these girls are laying the platform for rugby league in this area. Like, I know they've done a little bit tough, but they've got the win on the board. These younger girls, like the reinforcements are coming in the next couple of years.
Yeah, well, Kelvin and I called it for the Obie and Cookie Call. It was 12-10 for a long time, and then it was a real struggle, and the Phillies hung on to the ball late in the second half, and then Molly O'Connell, and I'm sorry to Mrs. O'Connell that I've been calling your daughter Molly McConnell, but it's O'Connell. She was absolutely fantastic. She scored in the last 10 minutes and put the game beyond doubt, and the scenes after that was fantastic because it was history, mate. And you being a historian, Brian, you would have loved it as well.
I do like history, Obie, and that was a really good effort from the girls. I've seen them play a couple of times. I've been at Valley's games, and they go really well, and then sometimes a bit of experience beat them. So it's good to see them have that win. And you mentioned Molly, Molly's a footballer, and I like watching her play.
Yeah, she's good. And look, a couple of my favourites there, like Tegan Gibbs and I forget her first name, but young Parson Gibbs girl, she was fantastic. Lachlan Coburn was very, very good. Young Pearce on the wing, she scored a great try right in the can bar. It was fantastic. No, not in the can bar, beside it inside the field. So worry about that later on. Division 2 had a bye, but this week, all day on Saturday, under 14 girls, under 16 girls, and then at 4 o'clock, Division 2 against Wynnum, and at 5:30, South Slogans, who has got a person by the name of Steph Hancock in the side, is going to play the Phillies. So, and that's at 5:30. So it should be absolutely fantastic. We're going to go to a break, but let's watch the last minute of that fantastic win the Phillies had down at Gatton on Sunday.
Coming up after the break, we'll look at round 11 games from last weekend. This is the TRL Footy Show, brought to you by Gail Walker Swim School, Criterion Hotel Dalby and Power FM. We're live and free on Power TV Australia.
Carey into the Sayers. Up inside the 10th though, the Phillies, but only 10 seconds left. Brothers trying to score through Carey. Carey has it now. He's going to be put down, she's going to put down right on the quarterway. This is the final play of the game, and there goes the hooter, and Brothers caught with the ball. They pop it away. Phillies come from everywhere. Throw a loose old pass away now. Still on loose on the ground. Sayers puts in a kick. Picked up though there by the second row, I think it is, for the Phillies, and that will be full time. And the full time score, the Toowoomba Phillies running out 20 points to 10 winners over Ipswich Brothers.
Yeah, historic win by the Phillies, their first of the season. And look, they are absolutely elated and thoroughly deserved. And look, fantastic stuff by the Phillies.
Well, welcome back, and we're here at the Gail Walker Swim School, and it's fantastic to be here, and I just feel so warm and cuddly here, Gail. And let me introduce you to Gail Walker. And the Walker name is very synonymous with Toowoomba Rugby League. But Gail, you've had the swim school here, a long time now. When did you start it, Gail?
Yes, we have.
And why did you start it?
Oh, when you're passionate about teaching children, it's very easy to start a business.
Okay.
So, been in the business 40 years, but we've been at this present venue for 14 years.
Okay, and look, it's a great setup here.
Thank you.
You must have many kids coming back, and you've been here so long. Are you having kids upon kids coming through?
Yes, we do. We have one of our staff members here actually started with me 40 years ago as a 5-year-old.
Wow.
So I've had the pleasure of taking her to state titles and having her children come through our swim school and train with us.
So do you have the schools gone well? They've gone to the national level, some of your kids?
Yes. Probably 3 years ago, we were coaching the Newtown Swimming Club, and they were the #1 team on the Darling Downs at the age nationals.
Yep.
So we've certainly had some Australian champions and Australian record holders. One would be Hayden Sieber, who was at the last Olympic trials.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and look, and how many staff do you have here?
We presently operate about 11 staff.
Gee, that's a big concern, Gar. That's absolutely tremendous.
It is. It's delightful, and we were the first indoor heated facility here in Crows Nest Shire.
Okay.
So now that, of course, we're all under Toowoomba Regional Council. So.
And where does your furthest child come from?
Well, we've had some young people come away as far as Charleville to here. They come sometimes on the holiday periods out as far as Gundawindi, and we have a couple of clients who travel regularly from Esk and to Goolawah.
And how young do you take them now, Gar?
We started at 6 months, and then we go through the development program on to adults.
And how are you with that transition when they went so young at that time, probably 15 years ago?
A lot of our young swimmers who started with us when we first started here are actually still swimming with us. So we feel very privileged and honoured that their time here has been a happy place.
Yeah.
And their progressive learning is still encouraged by us and a good time to have.
Yeah, and you would have been through an age where it was unheard of to have a 5-year-old or a 4-year-old actually having swimming lessons. Is that right?
We were just starting to evolve into that stage. Probably when I started back 40 years ago, because we were all outdoor pools in those days, and the indoor facilities are fairly new, probably in the last 20 years. We've actually had indoor facilities. Yeah. And from that progression, I think Australia's a better place and a happier place and a safer place for our young people to be in. Yeah, and we haven't had that many tragedies, I think, in this area here, mainly more on the coast, so it's something we can be proud of in this area. Oh, I agree, totally. I agree. I think the quality of teachers and coaches and people who just generally love the water.
Yep.
And in this area have been very well catered for.
And you must get immense pleasure out of seeing kids just improving and growing into able-bodied swimmers.
Oh, you do, yeah, you do. That's probably the passion that drives the daily activities. Is every day something new opens up, and the progressions are fairly quick, so it's an exciting time.
So you're Ben, Shane, and Chris's auntie, aren't you?
And Luke, yes.
And Luke, that's right too. Now Chris would have been a scallywag when he was younger.
Oh, he was wonderful. He's a young man with a lovely sense of self and extremely adventurous.
And your brother is Greg, and you've
Gary.
got Gary,
Yes.
and you've got six siblings, haven't you?
Yes,
it's a walker-a-thon here today. Hey.
Well, all four brothers played rugby league, so we've been a very passionate family. My father was also a rugby league player.
Yep, and Gary was a very good playing for Brisbane Valleys, wasn't he?
Yes, he played for Norths and also played for Brothers.
Yep.
And Keith also played for Brothers in Brisbane. Billy, who played for Valleys here in Toowoomba.
And you went along all the time to see them?
Oh yes, we're a very passionate family.
Okay.
We're a one in all in family.
Look, thanks for having us here at the swim school. We really appreciate coming out here, Gail, and it's just such a warm place here, so we congratulate you on many, many years of just looking after your wonderful family out here, which includes all your kids and teachers.
Yes, thank you.
And how do we get in contact with you, Gail?
Certainly, you'll find us on Facebook. Our phone number is 4696 8908.
What's that number again?
4696 8908.
Okay. And you're finding Facebook is the main mood of communication now this day and age?
A little bit for us, but I think generally we're fairly well established now. It seems to be more word of mouth.
Oh, okay. All right.
Would probably be our greatest clientele base, which we pride ourselves on.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
really good.
But
well, you keep on keeping on, Gail. We really congratulate you, and it's such a thrill for us to come out here today.
Oh, I feel honoured to be a part of the whole show, so thank you for the invitation to be a part of it all.
Okay, well, back to you, Robbo.
And thanks for joining us for the TRL Footy Show live from the Gail Walker Swim School in Highfields. And now it's back to Obi.
Round 11 review, and look, Nev, as you were saying, what a fantastic weekend of footy, wasn't it, mate?
Oh, brilliant. All the games were brilliant.
Yeah, well, Dalby Highfields, you were out there with me, mate, and what a great game from even the lower grades. Highfields 26-20 over Dalby. Dalby in the under-18s. Mate, if they won, they were into the mats and Rasmussen, but Highfields did a number on them, didn't they?
Mate, they certainly did. And look, both those sides, they could play each other any day of the week and get a different winner every time. They're that close.
Yep, that's right. And in reserve grade, Highfields were the leading team in reserve grade. Luckily, they made the mats and Rasmussen. And Dalby with, I think it was... Well, by the time I got talking to the guys, it was about 60-metre field goal, wasn't it, mate? By the Dalby boys.
Oh,
who dropped that field goal?
Krause, I think.
Yeah,
Krause.
It was absolutely fantastic. And look, the best thing about Dalby is that it was a fantastic crowd, wasn't it, mate?
Oh, look, Obi, I looked down towards the cam bar and in the front of the grandstand. Huge crowd, one of the biggest crowds I've seen at Dalby. I just want to touch on a few other things that I've seen out there, Obi. For the Dalby side, when the under-18s come off, the first people that are on the field to shake their hands is the whole entire A-grade side. It's one of the best things I've ever seen at rugby league in Toowoomba. And for the Highfield side, I went in the dressing sheds for every grade, and in the middle of their huddle, talking it up, is Gus McKellar. He goes in the under-18s, reserve grade, and the A grade.
Yeah, look, it's absolutely fantastic, the camaraderie we see in a lot of our clubs. But look, let's get on to this A grade game. It was absolutely fantastic. Dalby had all their players back, and one special player by the name of Alex Ambier still confirmed his number one winger in the competition, Brian?
Yeah, I didn't see the game, O's, but Alex, he's a good player, and if you don't contain him, he'll hurt you. Lovely boy too. And
he scored a great try in front of the can bar as well, mate.
Mate, it certainly was. The crowd went off, and he's hard to stop. Like, he's 4 foot tall, but he accelerates off a dime. He's going 100 mile an hour within 3 paces, and geez, he's strong. He's hard to bring down.
Well, one thing we saw was that the Taylor boys really stood up. They played very, very well. Dylan Taylor and Mitchell wanted the ball in their hands, and I think they were really boosted by Jason Wardrop and Alex Ambier. But the moment for me was Corey Blades from fullback. He split them right down the middle, and it was just him and Denzel Byrne, and it was the old buck against a young buck. I tell you, Daniel's son, okay? And then when he came up to him, Denzel Burns did a copybook around the legs tackle. It was absolute magic, mate.
And you could almost feel it in the crowd. It was just a gasp. What's going to happen here? Who's going to win?
This was
and
unbelievable.
Then, he just got him. But I'll ask you this, Obi. Has the giant woken for the Dolby diehards?
Not yet. I think they played very, very well. Highfields were down on troops, and even if they are, they've got good depth, so not taking anything away from Dalby. But let's see, they've got a fairly okay draw coming into the finals, so we'll see how they go from that. In under-18s, South Burnett 82 defeated Wattles 4. Ouch. And then in Trevor Mickaburrell Oval, say that 3 times real fast, and is Oakey 74 defeated South 10. And congratulations to the Bears. I believe Daniel Heyer came back into form there. Reserve grade, a close one there, South 30, Oakey 28. And then under 18s in a very close game there where the score didn't indicate, it was 20-0 South over Oakey. And then second division, 7-0 Oakey over South.
That's
Have you ever
impressive.
played one of those?
I actually did play against South once, and we won 1-0.
I think they're thinking of the World Cup that starts tonight on SBS. And then look, the match of the round down at Gatton, and again, what a crowd it was. Gatton were in front 16-6 about 30 seconds before half time, and then Callum Hart, who scored 3 very valuable tries, scored right on the bell at half time to put them within, say, 4 or 6 it was. And then he came out again the second half, scored a fantastic individual try, and then he scored another one for third there as well. But look, Valleys, I think they were in front about 26-14. And then Gatton scored a couple of tries. And I've got to tell you, guys, right, there was a kick 3 minutes from the end, right on the sideline. Hayden Lip, he comes in to draw the game, very important. It went high, one touchy had one flag up, the other one had one down, and then the referee said no. So
what do you think? What was your call?
Well, I'll go with the referee. I thought it was very good, but it was right over the other side of the field, and it was a fantastic climax to a game. And then look, what about the lower grades there as well? Gatton 24 defeated Valleys 18 in reserve grade. Whoever won that were going to play in the Matson Rasmussen, and Gatton come back from 12-0 down in that reserve grade game. Under 18, Valleys, they beat the top side Gatton 30 points to 22, and then Gatton in second division secured their Matson Rasmussen final berth by beating Valleys 24 points to 20. And then over to Glenholme Park, and what a game here, mate.
Mate, all the games are brilliant. And Gundawindi, they can build on that win. Like they've been trying really hard, and sides, even the top sides, they're not just rolling through them and scoring big scores. And I imagine brothers are a little bit disappointed, because I reckon they would have thought they had Gundy's measure, but good on the Boars getting a win there.
Yeah, well, it was 18 all with about 10 minutes left. Sam Beatros goal put brothers in front by 20 points to 18. And then in the last minute, Ronnie David scores for the Boars to get their second win of the year. What a fantastic feeling. And look, all these close scores, Brian, this year, you must be very happy on it being a very competitive competition.
It is a competitive competition. Like a few weeks ago, a lot of people were willing to write brothers off, and we have a look at the score, and they were leading with a few minutes to go, and I think it would have been heartbreaking for that club. Would have been equally heartbreaking on the other side if Gundawindi had gone down.
But congratulations on brothers' tenacity, that they've been very competitive, and Gundawindi been very competitive all year as well. So congratulations to both clubs. Reserve grade, Gundawindi 50, brothers 20. Under 18, Gundawindi 44-30 over brothers. And then out at Pittsburgh, you're at that game, Brian. Warwick got the Choppers 24 points to 22.
Yeah, Warwick, so their issue going forward is they started really badly. They
were 10-0 down, weren't they?
Yeah, they didn't. I don't think they completed a set of 6 for the first seemed like the whole first half.
Fair dinkum.
Probably 5th or 6th time I had the ball before they just showed a bit of class and got in front, and then Pittsworth, as Pittsworth do, they stick with you, and then Jamie Dempsey, he scored an intercept try late in the game to bring it back to, so it was 24 to 16 or whatever it was.
But not just an intercept try, it was 95. It was 160 metres.
And they were coming to get him, and like you could have forgiven him because he wasn't going to win him the game. He could have given it up, but that's
He's a competitor.
That's what the kids like. So yeah, and exciting down in front of their Canberra as well. So.
Yeah, well, look at these close games, even in the lower grades. Pittsworth 40-28 over Warwick, Pittsworth 26-8 in the under-18s, and 38-18 in the second division. So,
and that second division obviously got Pittsworth into the President's Cup on Madsen Rasmussen Day.
It sure does, and we're going to look at the points table after the actual break to show you how close this competition is. And as we go to the break, we had an interview with the Phillies coach, David McCall. Let's have a look at that.
Up next, we'll look at the latest points table and the preview of the Madsen Rasmussen President Cup finals. This is the TRL Footy Show, brought to you by the Gail Walker Swim School, the Criterion Hotel and Power FM.
Here we're here with the winning coach, the first win of the 2018 season. David, how do you feel, mate?
Mate, the monkey's off our back now, so we can go up and further. Can't wait for the next game.
Look, what great players. We gave our player of the match to Molly McConnell. What an inspirational try she scored in the second half.
She did. She come out and she took all that energy and she put it onto the field and she barged over and just splattered the defenders. I think the Ipswich side thought they were going to flog us. They were bigger, stronger, but they're not smarter.
Yeah, look, it was whoever was going to hang on to the ball in that second half, and luckily it was you guys, because it was a tussle there when it was 12-10, wasn't it?
Mate, it's been like that all year. We know if we hold on to the ball, we're going to be competitive. And this today, I think we completed 15 or 16 sets in the first half and 12 of 15 in the second half. So possession is one of the main things in rugby league, and we proved that today. So we're off to the Fed tonight, one of our major sponsors, and I'm sure the girls will have a couple of drinks.
And mate, we called the game, mate. They can podcast it and listen to their attend. A very historical win here at Gatton Leagues Club. Congratulations, David, and all the best for the rest of the season.
Mate, it's like winning the grand final for me. I can't wait till the next game and get on with tonight's celebrations, because we're going to celebrate hard.
Good on you, mate. Bye-bye.
Council's I'll declare the meeting open. Thank you very much for your attendance. Welcome to our staff.
Hi, this is Mick Jagger on
Classic Vinyl. This is Debbie Harrow from Blondie.
This is Jimmy Barnes here.
Stevie Nicks from Fleetwood Mac.
This is Reverend Willie G from ZZ Top.
The best tracks from the greatest albums of our generation.
That's right.
From your breakfast and coffee to your drive home.
We've got the classic hits that make your workday.
When you got a job to do, go by a lot faster.
Hey, if we haven't said it lately, thanks for listening. The home of classic rock.
Don't touch the dial.
PowerFMradio.com.au.
Whether you're a professional musician, a weekend warrior, or just starting out, you need to talk to the experts at Royce Music. With over 35 years experience, Royce Toowoomba's oldest music store, specialise in guitars, drums and sound equipment, and can even repair and maintain your equipment. Call them today on 46 327 377, drop into their showroom at 17 Bowen Street, or find them on Facebook. Royce Music, selling Toowoomba's finest musical instruments.
Hi, I'm Neil from CGD Group, and we do printing with imagination. Our products and imaging have that wow factor. Whether it be business cards, flyers, the Coffee Gazette, or our brand new A5 video folders and animation. Have your business branding remembered. Call us today on 4639 5553. CGD Group, printing with imagination.
On Power TV Australia, we take a frank look at computers, the internet and social media with a team of experts from around the world with Switched On IT. Learn what makes the internet tick and how to keep your kids safe online. Discover a whole new world of entertainment at www.powertvaustralia.com or download the app from the Google Play Store.
And welcome back to the TRL Footy Show from the Gail Walker Swim School in Highfields, live and free on Power TV Australia. Now it's back to Obi in the panel for a look at the points table and a preview of the Madsen Rasmussen and President Cups finals.
Okay, well, welcome back, and look, as we look at the points table, the top two, if you haven't worked it out, are in the Madsen Rasmussen final. Look at A grade. Valleys by their for and against are in front over Wattles, nice and close there, and we'll preview that match in a moment. And then look at equal third. Highfields, Warwick and Dalby on 14. Who would think that table would be like that? After one round, and then Gatton on 10, Pittsworth 8, Oakey 8, Gundy 4, Brothers 2 and South 0, mate.
Mate, it's certainly impressive, Obi, and as I've just touched on there before, as we look back, the hindsight over the competition for the last round, has it been as good as we thought it was going to be?
Look, I think it's been twice as good, don't you think, Brian? I think because we've got almost all the clubs being very competitive in all grades, it's just been a competition for the ages.
It is, and I remember talking to one of the coaches earlier in the year, and he made the point that there's going to be a couple of good sides, really good sides, aren't going to make the finals this year.
Yeah,
and we're looking at that now. You know, we're looking at Gatton, who could probably give it a shake if they made it. Pittsworth on their day.
Well, the grand finals from last year.
And it appears the way that the table's going, they're going to struggle to make it.
Yeah, well, it shows that in reserve grade as well, whereas 3 points separate the top 6 sides in reserve grade. Gatton and Highfields, Gatton 16, Highfields 15, then again Wattles, Pittsworth and Valleys, all good sides on 14, and then Dalby on 13. And look, let's not discount Warwick or Gundawindi, they're both on 9, South 4, Oakey 2 and Brothers are yet to win a game. But you, an expert on the reserve grade, mate, what a fantastic competition.
Mate, it certainly is, Obi, and I've been pushing their barrow all year, and as I said, those top 4 or 5 sides, they can be more than competitive in A grade. That's the standard of rugby league in Toowoomba, and it's certainly a great competition, and it's great. Yeah, reserve grade is a great competition across the board.
So, look, we'll talk about the Madsen Rasmussen, but I'll ask you another day about who do you like to the premiership, because it's a real hard question at the moment. And look, similarly with the under-18s competition, South on for and against, and incidentally South were 4th or 5th 3 weeks ago, and now they're top of the ladder with Gatton on 18, and then you've got Highfields, Dalby on 17, and then South Burnett. We're going out there Saturday week to call that South Burnett versus Gatton game for the first time, an under-18 game, and we're going to showcase that area out there. So South Burnett is 15, Valleys 12. Look, they're still not out of it. They beat the top side, Gatton, on the weekend. Pittsworth on 10, Gundawindi 8, Warwick on 8. Still very good sides. Wattles 4, Brothers 3, Oakey 2. Brian.
Yeah, and we get back to talking about South. South struggled a bit early in the season because they had a lot of commitments of players to the Mustangs.
And they forfeited one game.
They had 12 players that day, I think, committed to play for the Mustangs, so they just couldn't get 17 on the field. At their best, though, they're going to be very, very hard to beat. Gatton, on the other hand, they're a team with plenty of points in them, and they're going to be hard to beat as the season goes on as well. And they never go home wondering, those Gatton boys. They throw the footy around, they play some footy. So I think that's a really competitive competition.
Yeah, and look, I love this second division competition. Look, 2 points separating the top 4 sides. Gatton 14, Pittsworth 13, not in the final until last weekend. Stanthorpe, God love you, Stanthorpe. You know, must be because you're playing better because the colder it's getting through the winter. And then Dalby 12, Warwick 8, Oakey 6, Valleys 5, Brothers 2. Wow, what a fantastic competition that is.
Mate, it certainly is. And just touching on the Stanthorpe club, it's great to have them back in our competition. But just that second division, the one mistake you see players make is run out there and think it's going to be easy till they're snapped in half. there's still some very good footballers in there, and it's really quite competitive, and it's certainly added a whole dimension another dimension to our competition.
Yeah, well, then on to the Matson Rasmussen and President's Cup finals. And the times for Sunday. The gates open at 9 a.m. And look, congratulations to the Gatton Club. They've got 3 lower grades in the President's Cup and President's Cup finals. It's a credit to them. They've always been in those lower grade finals thereabouts, haven't they, Brian?
Yeah, they used to call Andrew Schmidt the Cup's King, didn't they?
Yes.
He was coaching coach sides, and 18s have had a few not so good years there, but if you want to win a premiership in C grade or reserve grade now, comp, you've got to beat Gatton somewhere along the line.
Yeah,
so.
well, the history was made last year. Andrew Smith coached second division and reserve grade to a premiership in the 1 year, didn't they?
Yes. Was that the year before?
Year before, I don't know, but it was. He'll always have that mantle, that's for sure. So 10 a.m. is second division, Gatton versus Pittsworth, and then 11:30 under 18 should be a cracker of a match. This one, South versus Gatton, and in reserve grade it's Gatton Highfields. And then at 3 o'clock, the main game of Valleys versus Wattles. Now, please pay attention with the actual Power FM special events. You'll find that that Kelvin will be calling probably at the end of the under 18 match, maybe 20 minutes before then, and he'll go right through till 2 o'clock where the reserve grade grand final will be on. Then we'll switch over to Power FM. You'll still be able to listen to it on special events, and then we're going to have a whole day of football. I think I've added up about 1,000 hours on Sunday, haven't I, Nev?
Something like that, eh?
Yeah, but it's going to be fantastic. Nev's going to be there. Lenny Curry's coming back. Where has he been?
Yeah, where has Lenny been?
He's the Where's Wally of the Toowoomba Rugby League, I can tell you, Lenny. And you've got a fan club out there as well. Cookie be there, Nutsy will be there. It'll be absolutely fantastic for the OB and Cookie call. Now let's look at these sides. Valley's sides for this A-grade competition. At fullback, Dylan Chown. On the wings, Matt Hawkins, and on that other wing, I just will find that out for you as we go down the list. Liam Capewell and Callum Hart, the informed centre at the moment, is his partner. And then at 5'8", Hugh Sedger in the 23 jersey. I don't think that number 6 jersey fits Huey. And then at half-back, Corey McGrady. In the pack, Steve Rogers, Nathan Bowring, Dexter Buchanan, and then the back row, I see they've named Nick Sargent. He broke his wrist a couple of weeks ago, so that'll be interesting to see him. He's in there with Jason Sharp and Alona Budden. And then on the bench, I think Robert Trott will play on that other wing, Nathan Short, Malika Brown, Matt Rose, and then the other two in the 19-man strong, Bulla Ashby Kaku. Is that the way I pronounce it? Yeah. I'm sorry if I haven't pronounced that correctly. And then Josh Rose, who scored a nice try on the weekend. So, fantastic stuff for them. How do you see Valleys with that side there, mate?
Mate, I think Valleys are a far different side to what we've seen last year, and experience is a great thing. Watch them this year with Brett Seymour being the coach and playing. They're a far more settled side. They don't get as flustered as they had in the past.
Yeah,
and like the more Callum Hart plays within our competition, the more we start to see that he's a dead set superstar and leaves his mark on a game. Corey McGrady, but he's the game break. If you're a little bit tired around that ruck, after the 60-minute mark, he'll cut you to pieces and put 3 tries on you.
Well, both sides win ugly, and that's what Valleys did on the weekend. They had a terrible completion rate in the first half against Gatton on the weekend, Nev. And then they just played consistent football, and you give good sides an inch, they'll take a mile, and that's exactly what happens. And this is what this Valley side have done. They've had it tough, mate. They've had Gatton, Dolby, Highfields in the run into Matson Rasmussen, haven't they?
Yep, they certainly have. I'm really looking forward, Obi, to their back rows. Really have to stand up for them. They're talented players, they're very good players, but they've got to get down and dirty with this Wattles side.
Okay, well, let's go on to the Wattles side, and what a side this is on paper. Jackson Green at fullback, Andrew Richardson and Braden Wilson on the wings, Nick Vanderpoel, the newly representative announced under 20 player. He's in the centres with Jake Hargraves. They've got a great partnership there in the centres. Travis Burns, who's the coach. Matt Duggan, he's at halfback. Michael Pearson, Liam Ross, Dale Perkins, who's co-captain with Ryan Duggan, who's in the back row with Ty Gardner and Mitch Cornier. And then on the bench, Will O'Grady, also on the rep side, Nathan Galton, he's a special player, watch for him on Sunday. Jason Wilson comes up for Mark Gordon, and then Dylan Wilson makes out that 17. They're a good side.
That's a pretty good footy side, that.
Yeah,
size up front, which you need, with Big Bugsy Pearson and Perko, and then you got off the bench you got Wilson coming on, and so that's a pretty good side. Some class in the back row. Ty Gardner's turning into one of the really good players in our competition, and Mitchy Corner, of course. Mitchy Corner does what he does. He's a experienced player, and Ryan Duggan, he's a goer as well. Let's just talk about the forward pack. Then we get back to Matty Duggan and Travis Burns, and I think Jackson Green, one of the best players in our competition, all-round player in our competition. Some youth that like scoring points, so they're going to be hard to beat.
And now they come off playing South and a bye, and I forget who else before that. But one thing they've done well this year is that with the stop-start nature, or perceived stop-start nature, they have grabbed it with both hands and really enjoyed when they've had weeks off.
They certainly have, Obi, but the thing with watching them after those games is Travis Burns doesn't leave you wondering. If you go out with the wrong attitude or have a little bit of a budge, you're just not quite on your game, he'll straighten you up real quick. He doesn't leave you wondering what the words that he uses on the field. But with the Waddle side, if we go back 6 months ago, 8 months ago, they've done their homework. They finished off the season last year, probably a little bit poorly to what they would have, but they were building nicely for this year. And as Brian touched on, there's some really great players in there.
Yeah, that's right. And look, unusually, there's a coach and there's co-captains. Dale Perkins and Ryan Duggan are the co-captains, and Travis Burns is the coach. And you can see that on the field because Travis doesn't say too much.
No.
Those other two do. So he just does the coaching off the field and probably half-time, etc., doesn't he?
That's right. But with Ryan Duggan as your coach on the field, your captain on the field, he doesn't have to say much. It's just the work that he does. Like he's just down and dirty, works hard, leads by example. He's a great leader.
And congratulations to Phil Hennessy on your appointment of the mid-season grand final. He had some really stiff opposition there, and the side linesman officials are Adam Stevenson and Greer Beck. Now let's look at some game turners here if we can. Corey McGrady can throw a pass a long way right onto the flying winger's chest, but watch for his amazing heart and defence. On the weekend, Francis Harm was coming 1,000 miles an hour, all right, and then who was there? Not the forwards, no, it was Corey McGrady, a great player.
Mate, he certainly is. He's low to the ground, he's strong, he's tough, he gets up under the ridge cage and really rattles them, but when he throws those balls, you watch how he holds it. You take note, he's got a quite unorthodox pass on him, but he'll do it 30 metres on the fly. They can go from one side of the field, other side of the field in 3 passes.
Yeah, look, sorry, Brian.
I was going to say, what I say about him, he's got really soft hands.
Yeah,
He just holds the ball, and next thing it's in the other bloke's arms. He's really, really clever. Especially that short pass and Nulla Bud and that, particularly he benefits from that, and Chown, of course.
Yeah, I got soft hands. Thanks very much, Brian.
Thanks,
and then Matthew Duggan, arguably our best player in the competition. He's probably a bit like the Cameron Smith of the competition. Does not make a mistake. Does everything right, and I really love it when he takes the line on, Neville.
Mate, Duggan, look, he's certainly a class act, and every other side sets their defence to go against him. And in the semi-finals last year, they did a bit of a number on him and cut him down real quick. But I've watched him play this year, and he's gone to a whole other level. I know he was good last year, but he's certainly great this year.
Yeah, Alona Budden from Valleys. He loves coming from nowhere, loves it wide, and he loves scoring tries. He scored an absolute perler. I think against Dalby, it was a beauty, wasn't it, Nev?
Mate, he certainly was. He's certainly a strong ball runner. But I think for Nolan, for him to stamp his class in this competition, we've watched him for 18 months now. He needs to turn up out there on Sunday and play the game of his life to be classed as one of the dominant forwards in our competition.
Look, and potentially, if he plays really well, Valleys will play it. Now, Dale Perkins, you wrote an article on him, last week before, and it just typified how tough this bloke is. Brian, tell us about the article.
Yeah, he put a comment on Facebook, had a picture of himself. He had his head was strapped up, his nose was broken, and had a big grin on his face. He said, "That's the best 80 minutes of the week." So,
yeah.
And that typifies Perko. Like, you know what you're going to get.
Yep.
Every Sunday, and he's a wonderful man, and he gives his heart and soul to his club whenever he goes out there, as he did with other clubs. And if you don't aim up on Perko, he'll send you backwards. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I've got the pleasure of saying that Dale's a good friend of mine. And I tell you what, he is one of the comps gentlemen. And watch for him late in the game. Been watching him this season, and 20 minutes to go, he really takes his team forward. Now, how about these two, Steve Rogers and Dexter Buchanan? They are probably the unsung hero of the Valley's side. And they have great synergy, don't they, mate?
Mate, they certainly do. Like Steve Rogers, this is his 17th year of A grade in Toowoomba. And you know, if he goes off after 20, 25 minutes, Valley seem to drop down a peg or two. He's the fella that gives them the go forward, and he really loves that confrontation. And Dexter Buchanan, mate, what a find he's been. He's certainly one of the most skillful front rowers we see running around our competition.
Yeah, now Dylan Chow, now we bragged about his speed all the time, but one thing I noticed him on the weekend, he is one tough cookie. I mean, he goes at 1,000, well, that was Francis Hunt. He goes at 2,000 miles an hour, and he just hits the line. He is a game breaker, isn't he, Brian?
He's got those two dimensions to his game. He'll hurt you with his speed.
Yeah.
He is fast and elusive, but I've seen him also go through the ruck, because he hits it explosively, he'll go through the forward pack.
Yep.
He's a good player, Dylan.
And Jackson Green, well, he never gives up, and he's one of the best backer-uppers in the game. And look, you don't really get to see much of this, but his talk is invaluable, isn't it, Nick?
Mate, it certainly is back there at fullback, and the thing with young Jackson is that he's competing from the first minute to the 80th minute, and if you're a little bit sleep or a little bit tired on the blind side, he'll come and get you. He'll bust you open.
And his combination with Matty Duggan goes back a long way, and they're good mates. And on the field as well, he's hard to stop.
Now, I'll put you two on the spot about Smokies. My Smoky for Waddles is Dylan Wilson. If he does some crunching tackles right at crucial times, then he can turn a match. And for the Roosters, it's Huey Sedger for me. He's just there everywhere, man. He organises them. He controls the ruck. He goes very, very well, and a great ally for Corey McGrady. Your Smoky, mate?
Mate, is it Will O'Grady for the Waddles Club? He's young, and he's tough, and he gets a lot to go forward. And I'd say Hugh Sedger too. I think he's a nice another dimension for Corey McGrady. He allows him a little bit of time.
Yeah, we don't have nice rugby league players. We have rugby league players, and that's it. And your Smokies, right?
My team, very much of Smokies. Young Andrew Richardson, he starts on the wing for Waddles.
Yep.
And a few weeks ago, he came and he played hooker.
Yep.
He's played fullback, and I think he's a young man. And I spoke to Matty Duggan about him and said, look, he's an absolute gun.
Yep.
And for Valleys, mate?
Smokies.
Yep.
I think Valleys need to depend on their regular players. I don't know anyone there that's.
Yeah, that's fine, mate.
But I think the player who they'll be looking for is Callum Hart. Now he wouldn't count him as a Smoky, but in some people who don't know him,
he is a Smoky because he can be motoring and he doesn't even look like he's motoring. And look, and that's our preview of the Matson Rasmussen final. Now, my interview of the week is with the Phillies players, and let's have a look at that interview as we go to the break, Robbo.
Coming up after the break, Obi's Rant. This is the TRL Footy Show, brought to you by Gail Walker Swim School, Criterion Hotel Dolby and Power FM, live and free on the Power TV Australia.
And we're here with all the girls here. What a great win by you, boy. Yay! Historic win, and our player of the match is Molly McConnell. What an inspirational try at the end there.
Yeah, it was a hard game. The girls really stuck in, and we got in the grind, and we stayed in the grind, which is good. We haven't done that all year. We're sort of fallen out the last 15 minutes of every game, but good to stay in one and actually win one.
All right, let's talk a bit of these other girls. What a great win. Did you enjoy that?
Yeah, it was so good.
Oh, that was good. Who else? And she's good. Everyone's going on the young beard ball. There you go, mate.
Good.
Well done. And who we got over here, Lauren, is it?
No, it's Carissa.
Carissa there as well. And who's this mob over here? Tegan Gibbs, one of my favourite players.
Hey!
Yeah, a big win, historical win, eh, mate?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Okay, and young Pierce, is it?
Yeah, that's
you
me.
You had an absolute blinder today.
Thank you.
And you got that ball. Who was it from, young Reynolds, was it?
Yeah, Marcy.
Hey, Marcy. Is it Marcy, is it? How did you do that? You like playing in front of the can bar, don't you?
No.
Yes, you do. All right, well done. Everyone say good day.
Looking for exposure for your business or event? Take your business, community event, training seminar, sports fixture, function, concert or exhibition to the world with Power TV Australia and Power FM's unique live outside simulcasts. We can turn your next local event into a worldwide sensation with stunning live pictures, interviews, graphics and live action replays for a fraction of the usual cost. From a festival or sports fixtures to a corporate or charity event, Power TV Australia and Power FM can take your message live to our local and national viewers and listeners. Invite the world to your party by contacting Barry today on 0431 390 920 or email programming@powertvaustralia.com for a quote.
Hi, this is Sarah and Bron looking after our feet at Hip Pocket Toowoomba. Lace up, zip side, pull on, men's, women's, kids, healthcare and construction. Get fitted for your shoes and check out our range of work socks. At Hip Pocket, we rock it.
Art by Leonardo's has moved to the Toowoomba Homemaker Centre. Sit down with a coffee and our friendly, experienced staff can help you choose the perfect custom frame to suit your artwork and budget. Plus, all framing is done on site. Come and visit us at our new showroom. At the roundabout, take the third exit onto the War Ego Highway.
See, honey, we will be there in no time.
You were supposed to take the online is easier.
Make a U-turn immediately.
It's all right, honey. The GPS is just recalibrating.
Turn left into the river now.
This is going well. The car park is chockers. Why didn't we just go online?
Yes, madam. Just take the mouse and log on to powerfmrockshop.com.au.
The Power FM Rock Shop. You bought the album, saw the concert, now own the t-shirt. www.powerfmrockshop.com.au.
Hi, this is Bron and Sarah from Hip Pocket Toowoomba. Join us every Monday night at 7 p.m. on Power TV Australia for our new safety show, Rocking It with Hip Pocket. When we explore work safety issues, demonstrate how to use safety equipment, discuss your workwear and PPE options and much, much more. Find out what safety equipment you need for the job, why you need it and how to use it in this fast-paced, informative show. Discover a whole new world of entertainment every Monday night at 7 p.m. at www.powertvaustralia.com or download the app from the Google Play Store. And remember, at Hip Pocket, we rock it. Discover a whole www.powertvaustralia.com and remember, we rock it.
Thanks for joining us for the TRL Footy Show live from the Gail Walker Swim School in Highfields. And now it's time for Obi's Rant.
Yeah, well, my rant this week is about the fantastic crowds there have been this season, let's say, about that. Like, I went to Dalby fairly early and I also went to Carl Park fairly early, and just before the under-18s match there was still huge crowds there. And I've never seen crowds like it this season. They've been very, very good and building. And I've got to say that the marketing we do for the Toowoomba Rugby League, like, is second to none. The kids love it, and the closeness of the actual competition is getting the crowds in. They just love it at the moment, Nev, don't they?
Mate, they certainly are, Obi, and I'll stick with my prediction. I said to Cookie 3 or 4 weeks ago, the Toowoomba Rugby League Grand Final this year will be a sellout. And another great predictor of the sort of crowd you get into the game, you get a look at half time, look out in the field. There's hundreds of kids out there kicking the balls around, there's lots of families there, and clubs have worked really, really hard to invite the families back into the fold. And mate, out of Dalby the other day, look, they've done that really, really well, and they need to be congratulated, as all the clubs have this year. It's certainly a great day out for $8.
And look, isn't it fantastic this year, Brian? A lot of hard work with the admin building, etc., and over the last few years to get the competition where it is today.
Yeah, man, we've all organised some really good weather too most weekends. So that's helped.
Right, yeah.
A lot of farmers would like some rain, but No, it's where else would you rather be? Sunday afternoon out at Carl Park, you know, out at Glenholme, out at Pittsworth, wherever it happens to be, watching local boys run around playing some footy. So I think people are starting to rediscover that. Lots of different things. You can analyse why that is. A lot of the work you guys do on Facebook and so on is good, but the clubs have gone out this year and bought some good players, brought them back in. We look at a club like Oakey, went out, they were in a bit of trouble, went and got some players, and now they're competitive, and so a combination of things, but I think it's the most exciting season for a little while, yeah.
Yeah, well, big crowds means viable clubs, so congratulations to everyone, and it's great. And by the way, Facebook, we're just about to hit that 10,000 like. So I think we're only about 40 or 60 away, aren't we?
Yeah, Andrew, I look every day just to make sure.
So remember 3 years ago we were 3,700, so what a fantastic effort now.
Mate, it certainly is, and like Facebook's the way to go these days. The coverage that we get off the videos we do after the games, and it helps people connect with the players and they feel like they know them a little bit, and it's certainly revolutionised our game up here on the Downs.
Okay, well, other topics. Congratulations to those players selected in the under-18 and under-20 teams that are going to represent Queen's Central Division in the 47th Battalion competition. Let's look at this under-18 side, and some great names here. Zach Miles, Eli Charles Tenner from Valleys, Yalen Bond from Dalby, Travis Babington from Dalby, Connor Brady from Dalby, Martin, I've met this young fella, Frozel, is it? Foles, sorry about that, Martin. Zach Croft from Highfields, he's a movie star after that press conference today, Brian. Darcy Brown from Highfields, Tom Chambers, Matthew Christensen from Wattles, Tyler Gillam from Wattles, Isaac Waters from South, Tom Brown from South, Mitchell Murphy from South, Dylan Flanagan from Gatton, Braden Clark from Gatton, and then from Gundawindi, Josh Keller, Pittsworth, Liam Short, and Dylan Crump. What a comeback from him from Oakey, mate. What a great side that is.
Mate, it's a brilliant side, and as we've touched on before, Obi, the only difference between the under-18 comp and the A-grade comp is the physicality of the gentlemen that play league.
Yeah, look, we've got some talent out there, Brian, haven't we? That's under-18s.
That under-18s, of course, it doesn't include any boys who play for the Mustangs this year. We also came up against the issue of the Confraternity Shield, which was being played, starts the day after, so the boys have been eligible for St Mary's, kids from Assumption College at Warring, kids from Gatton who play for
Peace Lutheran,
who play at the Lutheran College down there, so that's taken nothing away from those boys are there. They've all played their footy this year, and we're really proud of the fact that we can give those boys an opportunity to wear the Clydesdale jersey, go away and play some rep football. And we texted boys the other day and we said, you're invited to join the team, and I just plead. One boy right back said I would be honoured.
It's good stuff. Yeah.
Unbelievable stuff. Now the under-20 side, have a look at this one, Nev. Andrew Richardson, Nick Vanderpool and Will O'Grady from Wattles, Austin Jennings from Gatton, Riley Mitchell and Jake George from Highfields, Don Briggs from Pittsworth, Jordan O'Shea, how much of a season he's having at the moment from Pittsworth, Cordy Evans from Pittsworth, Laurie Jacobson from Pittsworth, Sammy Beatros on fire at the moment, and his mate Ethan Hearn from Brothers, Kieran Fender from Warwick, Harry Potter is his nickname, Harry Sullivan from Warwick, congratulations Harry. Mitch Watson, well done to see him in the side as well from Warwick, Bulla Ashby Kaku from Valleys, Malika Brown from Valleys, Cody Milne from Dalby, and Reg Sullivan from Stanthorpe. What a side that is, mate.
Mate, when you look at those fellas there, Obi, and you forget that they are only so young when you see them running out in the A-grade size, it just shows you how talented they are, and tough too, like that Will O'Grady, he's a machine, but mate, our comp is looking really, really good for the future.
I think what it does show us, Brian, is how much youth we do having run around in the top grade here.
We did, and when we went look at the eligibilities, it's also excluded the Mustangs players. We had, I think, around about the 40 mark of young men who'd played first grade. And if you look at that, most of those are regular first graders.
And good regular first graders.
So there's a depth of talent out there. I hope over the next so many years those boys continue to play, and I'm hoping this might be a bit of incentive. They get a bit of boost about their footy, and they might go on and stay in our comp at least.
Well, I think the Mustangs concept and tournaments like this make our players better players coming back to the competition. When's the tournament, Brian?
Yeah, it's in Gladstone in a couple of weeks' time. It's on the 30th of June and the 1st of July, and very much based on the same format as the 47 Battalion for the seniors. Only difference is Sunshine Coast aren't playing. There's a team from the Outback are playing in both competitions, so that'll be an eight-side competition on that weekend. So, yeah, looking forward to being up there.
Well, that's it for this week. Thanks, Brian. Thanks, Nev. Thanks to Gail Walker Swim School. Absolutely fantastic, and I didn't think I had that in me with that swim stroke I've got, Gail. I really appreciate it. Thanks very much. And next week we're going back to Toowoomba Sports Club. It seems like ages we haven't been there. So we'll see you next week. Back to you, Robbo, to sign us off.
Cheers, Gail.
This has been the TRL Footy Show. Thanks to our major sponsors, the Gail Walker Swim School Highfields on the New England Highway, the Criterion Hotel Dolby, Power FM, Royce Music and Computer Troubleshooters. If you're in business and interested in advertising with Power TV or Power FM, contact us by phone or email. The details are on the screen. This has been a Power TV Australia production in conjunction with Power FM. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and remember to download the Power TV Australia app from the Google Play Store. Thanks for your company for another edition of the TRL Footy Show. I'm Robbo. See you next week at the Toowoomba Sports Club.